Yep. All right, so today we're going to continue on from the previous day. Remembering that last time we started to talk about consumer health. We started out by talking about the definition of consumer health, being intelligent purchase and use of products and or services that affect our health. Okay? The other thing we talked briefly about is the 3 consumer rights that President Kennedy originally came up with in the 60s. And I mentioned that there are now 8, but these are 3 of the main ones that he first came up with, which would be the right to be informed, the right to be safe, so products and services, you should be safe when using them, and the ability to be able to choose what products and services you use. Next time we'll go more into consumer rights and spend more time on these, but just so that we know that there are consumer rights that protect us when we're using products and services. Okay? Then we went into talking about quackery and trying to figure out when we know that something seems too big, is too good to be true. And we're going to spend a little bit more time on this today, and then also talk about how we can, more strategies to tell how we're being fooled, and also specifically look at some of the different advertising techniques that companies use to market their products that make us want to use them. Okay? So I'm going to put up this quote by Martin Luther King Jr. And I just want you to read that to yourself and think about what does that make you think of, or what do you think about that? And when you've read it, I want you to find a place in the room, either strongly agree, no opinion, disagree, or strongly disagree, with what that statement has to say. Okay, and also be thinking about how that would relate to you as a consumer. Okay, so once you've read that, try and find a position that aligns with what he said here.
We're almost the same height.
Now also keep in mind that this probably, since he was so heavily involved in civil rights, had more to do with potentially a civil rights type of thing, but I thought it applied to our scenario as well. Okay, so it looks like we've got most people in agree or strongly agree. Is there somebody that would be willing to share your thoughts on why you're in agree?
I'd like to just kind of hear how other people interpret that with sincere ignorance and infectious stupidity. Just because I'm not sure. Does that mean you're purposely doing something even though you know that it's not the best choice? Is that?
That's a good question. I'd like to
Kind of like follow the leader?
I can't, yeah.
Oh, so my neighbor does that, so that's what, I should take it too? I mean, if you look at like weight loss stuff, there's all sorts of gimmicks and pills out there, and so-and-so's lost a ton of weight. Well, they might be eating better, they might be doing something else, but they took that same pill, so I think that we should take it too. So I guess that's the way I kind of interpret it, like sincere ignorance and stupidity. We're just kind of lemmings in the grand scheme of things.
My response to that, the first thing that popped into my mind is the anti-vaccination movement, which is really, really adamant and super opposed to vaccines because there's tons of evidence that vaccines lead to autism, which is totally specious because there's one study that actually supposedly demonstrated that vaccines led to autism, and it's since been refuted. It's been shown to be full of flaws and errors. The guy who did this study actually has had his right to practice. Well, he's not able to practice anymore. I mean, so like, here's this huge movement based on this idea that vaccines cause autism, and there's absolutely no evidence.
So there's the backlash of that is, a lot of kids aren't getting vaccinated going into 6th grade. And then school districts are saying, well, you can't even come to our school.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of backlash for one person's thing.
Okay. Anybody else want to share ideas just in general why you chose to be in the strongly agree category?
I say, educate yourself about your decisions before just making your decisions.
Or an extension of that is not just relying on somebody because you think they're a pretty respectable person, but like actually finding your own reasons. Educating yourself, exactly.
Does anybody see some of the issues that we have in our society being caused by lack of either ignorance or lack of education about things?
A lot of issues. Sorry.
All right, you guys go ahead and have a seat. Thank you for being willing to share your thoughts on that. Okay, so I shared a video about weight loss last time, and I've got a couple of videos that have some humor involved in them that just get us thinking about some of the crazy marketing schemes that we see in commercials and media.
They're absolutely free.
Number 8. Where do we start with this one?
Those look awesome.
You can't take the work out of your workout. That's kind of the point. But for argument's sake, let's ignore that.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Can you imagine your colleagues sitting idly by doing this at work?
Hawaiian chair model answering phones, using the computer, balancing books, or filing paperwork.
It's a chair with a motor and a tropical gimmick, and it's supposed to give you abs.
That feels great on my abs.
How does it
Apparently
feel?
all it does is make your butt hot.
I can really feel this working.
Number 7. Rejuvenate.
And slide the headband over the top of the head.
Younger looking skin is only one terrifying mask wear away.
Oh my God.
Sit in
terrifying
your favorite
mask
fireside
away.
chair.
And get ready for a real treat.
Enjoy facial toning sessions that send impulses from the battery directly into your 12 facial zones. And whatever you do, don't forget your lube.
Place the small and contact areas of the mask.
Side effects may include redness, burning, memory loss, and violent horror film-inspired nightmares.
Memory loss? Oh my god.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that these are actual things. There's one more that has just a couple more of these clips.
Number 4, better marriage blanket.
Offending molecules are absorbed before anyone knows they're there.
The fact that this is even on the market speaks volumes about our culture.
Don't do that!
What am I doing?
Don't fart in the bed!
We're not going to sugarcoat this. The better marriage blanket is a comforter that absorbs your spouse's fart so that it doesn't stink up the bed.
So whether you or your spouse suffers from a health issue or just the occasional disagreeable meal, owe it to your marriage to try the Better Marriage Blanket.
It's even advertised that the blanket uses the same fabric, quote, used by the military to protect against chemical weapons. Last we checked, humans farted methane, not VX. This probably started as a joke, but then some executive thought there was money in it. So, here we are.
It's the problem in the marriage bed that no one likes to talk about. Maybe that's why they call it silent but deadly.
Number 3.
Yeah, I stopped it there, but this reminded me of the gun safety one we talked about in Bill's. It's a stand that slides under your bed to hold your shotgun, and then your sheets go over the shotgun so that it's ready in case somebody comes into your room.
Like a toddler.
Yeah.
Do they make it in toddler size?
Yeah, that's a good question. All right, so again, just some videos that show how ridiculous some of the products are that are out there, and how useless they could be. Okay, so today again, I wanted to look at how to identify quackery or false claims that people are making, different tactics that people use for marketing, and then how do we be an informed consumer and why is that important? Okay, so what I'd like you to do again, we're gonna rate ourselves on a couple of different statements that I make. So when I give you the statement, just find a place in the room that aligns with how you feel about that statement. Okay, so the first one is, I would never fall for quackery or fraudulent products or services. Okay, so if you agree with that statement, and over on this side, if you disagree, over here. Okay, I would never fall for quackery or fraudulent products or services.
All I'm going to say, I have a great example of this. from personal experience.
I'd love to hear it here in just a second.
I'm in this section.
Okay.
I'm also trying to find
You
this.
guys might want to watch out because
You got a good view. I can't wait to watch this back. All right, somebody want to share, that's in the disagree category, why you chose that spot?
You know, like those online bidding wars you can get into? So I remember right out of college, I was like trying to furnish my house or like, you know, get like a TV and like sound system and just random stuff. And I thought it was all free, these bids that you could just bid on, and each bid was like 10 cents. So I'd bid like hundreds of times, and I ended up losing like $60 because I thought each bid was free, but you actually pay 10 cents for each bid that you have to do.
Yeah.
And then you pay like you can buy like a TV on there for $7, but you have to bid all the way up to that. So it's really false advertisement when they say, I want a TV for $12.
Oh,
You did, but you also had to pay for each one of your bids.
And do you think they purposely make it misleading?
Oh yeah, because they give you free, like 30 bids, and then they start charging your credit card after that.
So they lure you into it, and then all of a sudden you're.
And they don't really tell you like, hey, your bids are out. It starts running.
start running your credit.
your tab.
By the way, you now owe me $200. Okay? Other thoughts on why you chose that spot?
I've been sucked into things because I haven't read the fine print, like things where you get like recurring bills on your credit card, you know, thinking you just bought something once and then you realize that you're being charged monthly for something or,
Supplements
Just-
are like that.
yeah, I'll admit that I haven't made the best choices.
Or yeah, like a free trial kind of a thing like you had.
Y'all are gonna laugh at me for this one. You ever heard of ear candles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I decided, what the heck, give it a shot. I had like 3 people tell me, oh, it's amazing, you should totally try it. So I bought it, and on the way home I read the package, and it said, on the package, which I had just paid money for, this is not intended for actual use. This is a novelty item only. We make no claims about the efficacy of this candle or something like that.
What are ear candles?
Basically, there's this, quackery that suggests that you can basically lie on your side and you put these ear candles in and you light the candle and it's supposed to suck earwax out of your ear and like clean all this like deep earwax that we supposedly have.
They do it. I mean, there's like there's like spas that you can go to where they'll do that.
Yeah.
I heard people. Well, my mother has inner ear issues. What's it called?
Tinnitus.
No,
That's when it rings.
no, she balance.
Equilibrium.
Yeah, sorry.
Vertigo?
Vertigo. thank you.
Vertigo.
So she has to go like a couple times a year and get cleansed, her ears drained.
Gotcha. Tiffany, do you want to share why you chose agree?
I just haven't had, at this moment, I can't remember anything that I've had, so.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is a testament to how many people are over here, just how easy, even if I hadn't, I know that it's just not easy to stay clear of getting fooled by something along the way. And people spend millions and millions of dollars just to try and trick us into using their products. Okay, next one. I will never be impacted by quackery. I will never be impacted by quackery. Okay, so it looks like we're all in the disagree. Someone want to give their thoughts on this one?
Well, we've already.
Bill?
Well, since I was already here for disagree on the I will never fall for it, which means I probably will fall for it at some point, which means that I will be impacted by it. So I stayed.
Tiffany, you moved over to this side. What did?
Because it seems to happen, so it probably will happen.
She's gonna go pick up an
The
ear
older
candle
you
now.
get,
I think a lot of those resort things sometimes you get to, I don't know if you've seen those before, but it's like all kind of a gimmick to get you to go to those places, and you end up having to pay way more than it actually would cost if you did it through a travel agent,
And I feel like the older people are getting more susceptible because if they're in pain or something, they're willing to try anything.
do anything,
to try the, the silver wristband.
Oh, yeah.
Play golf again.
And we kind of talked about that, reasons why people get sucked into these, and that's just right. If you have some kind of terrible pain, or you've just been diagnosed with something it seems like there's no cure for, and somebody offers a cure, I mean, you get to a point where you're willing to try just about anything, and that's what they're feeding on. Okay. Anybody else have thoughts they want to share? I think too, you guys can go ahead and go back to your seat, but I think even just when you think about impacted, we're constantly being bombarded with the choices that we have to make between what is a good product and what's not. All right, so in just a second, there's going to be a video that gives some tips and talks about things that companies try to do to try and fool us. So I want you to write down on your own paper, just write 2 things at least that you can do to recognize quackery. So 2 things you can do, or 2 things that companies might do to try and trick you. And then write down 3 things you can do to help you be a smart consumer. Okay, so 2 things to recognize quackery, 3 things you can do to be a smart consumer.
At this very minute, someone is falling for a health fraud scam. On TV, online, in print ads, in stores. It's happening all around us. But spend just a little time with me right now, and we'll show you how to see through health fraud scams by being smart, being aware, and by being careful. You'll be able to identify and avoid health fraud scams. What exactly is health fraud? Just what it sounds like, a scam. A way to deceive people about health products that may not be all they're cracked up to be. They play on our desire for a quick cure, and then they bombard us with savvy marketing. And these companies target all of us, promising help with weight loss, sexual performance, aches, pains, memory loss, and other age-related issues. Even people with more serious medical conditions like cancer, heart disease, HIV, Alzheimer's, and many more. They use TV infomercials, the internet, magazines, and direct mail. They even recruit people, perhaps even family and friends you know, to spread the word about their products through word-of-mouth marketing. They make claim after miraculous claim, miracle cures, wonder drugs, and for those who need hope, it's tempting to believe them. But think of the consequences of falling for these health schemes. Sure, it could cost you lots of money, wasted on worthless drugs, supplements, devices, test kits, and treatments. But it could also cost you your health. And by using unproven health products rather than the appropriate treatments, you might miss your window of opportunity to diagnose and treat a serious disease or condition. These products might make you even sicker. They could interfere with your medicines. They could even kill you. So what should you do? Well, the FDA wants you to know the red flags you need to be on the lookout for. Be aware of claims like quick fix, scientific breakthrough, cure-all, or no-risk money-back guarantee. And if a product claims to cure a wide range of unrelated diseases, be suspicious. And many serious diseases don't even have a cure, despite what some companies claim. They'll also use personal testimonials and doctors played by actors claiming amazing results to scam you. You'll also want to be especially careful on the internet. This is one place where you'll find more and more products tainted with potentially harmful ingredients, including prescription drugs, steroids, and other chemicals not listed on the label. The bottom line is this. If it's an unproven or little-known treatment, talk to your doctor or healthcare professional before you take anything for your health problem. You'll want to protect your personal information, including your Medicare ID number. Never give it out in exchange for a free offer. How many people do you think have been scammed just in the time that I've been talking to you? Too many. It's happening all around us, every minute of every day. So don't be a victim of health fraud scams. Be smart, be aware, and be careful. For more information on how to spot health fraud scams, visit fda.gov/healthfraud.
All right. Okay, so just some initial thoughts about the video. Anything that made you think of, or new information that you hadn't thought of before?
Be aware of that money back guarantee.
Money back guarantee, okay? And that's it, that's a huge, that one seems to come with tons of different things.
Talk to your doctor before trying a new drug.
Okay? Quan, you have, oh, okay.
Are you supposed to watch to make sure that something doesn't say it's gonna cure a myriad of 5,000 different things?
Okay, so
Or
something
things
that's,
that can't be cured.
okay? Yeah, so there's, some people are claiming that they have the magic cure for things that aren't currently curable. Okay? And that's kind of, we're kind of already going into this, but, so those would go along with how we can tell if something is quack. Okay? What about tips for staying safe from the video?
Protect your Medicare number,
Okay?
Yeah, basically don't give out information,
any information.
Okay?
personal information.
Yeah, it seems like anymore with the internet and that identity fraud is increasingly an issue too. Okay, what else?
Well, something I didn't actually see in there, but it made me think about is things that make you feel like there's a sense of urgency and you only have so long to respond, and you'd be a fool not to respond now. And there's only so many
Limited time
now.
offer.
Yeah,
Only 5 left.
that sense of urgency is really,
Yeah.
By the time this commercial's over, you'll
Yeah.
not be able
In the
to.
next 20 minutes.
Right. And I think they do a good job of summing it up there kind of broadly, that be aware, be safe. What was the last one, anybody remember?
Be careful.
Be careful, right? So really just thinking about the decisions you're making and not being forced into that